Everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Brian Good here on this Tuesday. I hope your day is going well for you. I know it's a tough day today. Everybody wants to kind of sleep in. It's one of those just dreary days, almost like midwinter kind of feel out there with the gloomy skies overhead. The wave of low pressure moving off to the east now into the Appalachian Spine. So we're seeing everything taper down when it comes to our rain chance for the afternoon as far as steady rainfall. But we're still going to deal with some drizzle for several more hours. As the bulk of the moisture heads again to the east, some thunderstorms. It's been busy this morning in Tennessee, even some isolated severe weather around Nashville into the Smoky Mountains now. However, here's the problem today. Not only do we have still some drizzle around, but still a lot of clouds over us as well. So this low cloud deck's not going anywhere. And seeing the banner right there, we always have that banner updated on television live. It's for Louisville International. So it's 48 degrees, northeast winds at 12 miles per hour. You combine that northeast flow into the area, and you're dealing with temperatures actually dropping a few degrees here for this afternoon even. And a wind chill. We will have one awful close to 40 for the afternoon. If you look carefully over toward the Ozarks, another batch of clouds out there. That is our next little wave that's going to zip on by, following the path of the low pressure. So it's mainly going to provide a shower chance for those counties, say Grayson to about Nelson for tonight. The more north you are, the drier you should be, but we'll see how expansive this. It's going to combine with a little bit of energy coming out of the Midwest, but we'll see if it can provide some showers for Indiana, because a couple of the models hint that it's possible. The bulk of them, though, say it's going to be south of Louisville. But either way, it's a quick shot of rain. Most of you will miss it because you'll be asleep when it passes by. And finally, we get some sunshine tomorrow. Let me show you how Futurecast points it out for us here. This is the HER model for the day, and it's got temperatures again holding steady, if not falling, for the afternoon. Then here comes that little wave. You'll see it sneaking in from the west, and see what it's doing. It's trying to hint at a few raindrops in areas of Indiana, so that's a possibility, and it will be chilly rain no matter what happens, lower 40s tonight. Okay, so let's talk about real quick for the next week time period, and then we'll get into more of the heart of snow talk. Here's the upper level temperatures. Basically, you're getting the pinks, you're getting the cold weather, light blues, whites, and pinks. That's where you're dealing with that really frigid stuff. That's even colder up there. You get into the purples and grays. And, of course, warmer weather when you get to the other side of the spectrum. Here's the rain and snow. This is for Wednesday. So, for tomorrow. So, the wave overnight tonight is already moving east of us by the time we get into sunrise tomorrow. So, that's why we're dealing with the clearing forecast. This next wave back here to Texas now, if we didn't have such a deep trough digging in, it would be interesting to see what would happen for our area. But a southern tracker could have been interesting, but that's not going to be the case. It's going to get too suppressed to bother us. So we will deal with a dry forecast and a very good cold shot of air for Thursday into Friday, even colder for the Northeast, and the snow machine will be on for the Great Lakes, it looks like. Then after that, we deal with another wave, so a little warm spell. Enough of a warm spell to get us into liquid form here for Saturday night and Sunday. The timing on this may play out to where most of the rain Saturday night and Sunday may take place during the night, and the daytime hours of both days may be more dry than wet. If the timing holds, we know how that plays out. It's only Tuesday, so we'll see what happens. After that, another little cool wave behind it for next Monday. Then as we head toward the 15th, see, we're spaced out about every 3 days, it seems like. We get another wave of rainfall. This one moves in with some rain. May warm up into the 60s, by the way, before it arrives on the 15th. Then after that, this is where the model stops, at least this particular run. This cold shot of air is interesting because I see signs of a low dropping down that should dig and then run up the northeast. And I think there's an opportunity here for that to happen that following weekend. All right. Now, when you look at the snowfall forecast, going on 14 days, there's not a lot really here to show. More importantly, though, as we look at the broader setup, is when you notice the snow continues to build. This is the snowfall, right? Not the snow, it's already on the ground in some cases. But the more we can build this up, guys, this is the key factor. And we didn't really have this last year. The more you can build the snowpack in this area, you want to keep building it and building it and building it. It should build in this kind of shape as we head further into the late autumn, early winter. When you do that, you then allow the storm track, because low pressures typically do like the track on the bare ground versus the snowpack, so right on the line. So the more we can build that snowpack to the south, we can force the storm track to the south, and that's when the fun and games begin. So it's a step-down process. This is what we have to deal with usually most winters, and it's going to take some time. So snow lovers got to be patient here. If we were to go to a rain to snow setup around the 20th or so of November, it would be just that, rain to brief flakes. Not a big deal. I'm going to put it on the snowboard. because I think it's a potential for flakes, but I'm not that thrilled on it at all because it may end up being more of the Appalachians and not even our area. So we'll see if it stays on there tomorrow. I just want to stress, I don't see any sign of it being significant whatsoever. The important part, though, is keeping on that snowpack. So here's the snowboard. Again, I'll add in a rain, maybe in just a few flakes on the 20th. Don't be upset. Don't give me that look. That's the way it goes. Now let me show you the long-range models, and this is where things get a little complicated. All right, but this is an important thing to look at. You're looking at the upper-level pattern. Here's the United States right here. There's that spot right there, a little speck. Where you see these blues are the troughs and the reds are the ridges, all right? You really want to keep the red and the blocking, the building here over Greenland as much as you can because that allows the dip in the jet stream. And you want to build in high pressure as much as you can either in the western United States or the eastern Pacific into Alaska. It'd be perfect if it was a broader trough because you get more of a broader trough or broader ridge. You get more of a broader trough as opposite reaction, especially if you get a block. I mean, the perfect deal would be a big block in here. You get a big ridge that really can arc up pretty high up, and then you've got a straight flow right in from the North Pole. That would be perfect as a snow lover. You really would love to see that, although it would probably be just cold Arctic dry air on our luck. But that's the factors we're looking at. This is taking us to I'm trying to think of the time frame I had here. I think this is the 23rd. So getting close to Thanksgiving, okay? We're seeing signs of another cold blast that will arrive around the 20th to the 23rd that is hinted at the end there of the snowboard. But it looks transient. Yeah, we got some blocking in here, but I do see it being transient to where by the time we get into just that following weekend, right after Black Friday, we begin to get back into some ridging, building back in, and the trough continues to work its way off to the east there. So I don't think it's lasting cold. As we head into the first week of December, we're seeing some ridging trying to develop here. Still some troughing around the Aleutian Islands, but at least we're seeing signs of some ridging here. Still seeing ridging across the Greenland area. So it's promising for a trough, but it still looks to be mainly offshore. I don't know if we'll be fully into that or not the first week of December. Heading toward mid-December. Okay, now things get a little more interesting. Now we're looking at more of a trough or a ridge, certainly beginning to build in the western United States into perhaps even western Canada. We got the blocking up in here. Now we're starting to see more of the troughing that is developing. But notice we still got a ridge, the lovely southeast ridge. And I do think it's going to be a player this season. That's why we had drier weather in the southeast at times. So, the players are lining up a little more by mid-December. I like the look of that. Heading toward late December. Okay, well, you got the blocking here. We definitely have some troughing, but I don't like seeing that. I hope that disappears. We don't want that troughiness that close to the eastern Pacific. And I think that may end up being wrong because I think overall the signs are there for more of a ridging here. But I think the trough could really entrench itself near Christmas, and that's why I have my first 1-inch snowfall on Christmas Day. I know it seems like wishful thinking, but I really think around Christmas, I think the pattern may line up, especially when we build that snowpack in. Things could get really interesting in December. In fact, I don't know if we have the forecast really cold or snowy enough. If the trends here I'm looking at in December, this is going to certainly be a different December than we've had the past couple of years. How will it compare to the cold winters we had earlier this decade? Well, they're not going to be as cold as that this season, all right? But it does look colder than last year. That is something we are building off of in the winter forecast. Here's the snow ice pack across the Arctic. The dash line is the lowest at that point it had ever been recorded, 2012. Here is last year, though. It passed that up. We had a lot of melting that took place in November, December, and then it just, when you lose all that, it's not what we didn't have a lot of cold air to build up. All the cold air and the ice built up over Asia. They had the horrible winter. We didn't have enough to work on. Here is the red line for 2013, that winter. And it's in the gray area, which is the average, where we should be. You can tell how much ice we're losing in the summer months here, late summer, early fall. That's where we were in 2013. Here is where we are now in blue. So, when you look at this, we're not as bad off as we were in 2012. We're a lot better off than we were last year at this time, but we're not as beneficial as we were in 2013. So everything does line up with the idea that it's not going to be as bad as that earlier winter period in this decade, but it certainly looks to be more active, colder, and a little more wintry compared to last year. So December could be an interesting month, guys, especially mid to late December. Buckle up. We'll see how this trends.